A short, ugly marketing video on this Monday, June 6th, I believe. Into the 6 months of the year already, that's kind of crazy. But let's get straight to it, right? So, as a young salesman, many, many moons ago, I used to really get nervous about upsetting a prospect. I would... if I was in a sales presentation, I would couch my statements. I would say things that were not as blunt, not as sharp as they should be. I really worked very hard to not upset the prospect, but rather to help, rather to keep the prospect hanging on, right? In other words, I didn't want them kicking me out of their house. I wanted to keep them on the hook. But because I wanted to keep them on the hook so bad, I wasn't reeling them in, right? So think of a fisherman who's worried about losing the fish, so he's only reeling a little bit. He's not really working hard to reel the fish in. He's just a little bit. And inevitably, if he's not aggressively trying to reel the fish in the right way, he loses it. Now, yes, you can be too aggressive. Yes, you can be too passive when you're reeling in the fish. Yes, there's all kinds of stuff you can do to screw up your. But the point is that you've got to stay in a sweet spot, aggressive enough to close the sale, but not so aggressive to immediately upset everybody or to blow the sale. What got me out of this mindset was a simple truth that I realized is that you can't lose a sale you don't have. See, I was sitting in the prospect's living room doing a presentation, and I was worried that I would lose the sale. Well, I didn't have the sale. So I was tiptoeing around, I was tiptoeing around. And of course, by the way, when you start tiptoeing around, guess what happens? That prospect now senses your lack of confidence. They sense that you're walking on eggshells, so to speak. And then that makes them, number one, not trust you, and number two, be less likely to cooperate with you, as opposed to you just saying things in a confident way. So here's my point. Sorry, I hope you're not getting motion sickness. Don't worry about losing a sale you don't have. Now, once you got the sale, you got to service them properly. You got to do all the right stuff. You got to deliver what you promised, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You got to do all that stuff. But don't worry about losing the sale just because you say something that's a little off, or you say something that the prospect doesn't like in the middle of your sales presentation, or you're a little too abrupt about something, or you asked a question that was maybe a little too invasive. Ask those questions confidently. Say what you're trying to say confidently. Don't start calling them names or don't go there, right? You don't want to start insulting the prospect, but you also don't want to worry so much about losing the sale that you don't do the things you need to do to close. There's going to be some stuff in any sales presentation that approaches the edge a little bit. You're pushing somebody. You got to make them a little uncomfortable. You are, and I know people get so upset about this word, but you're manipulating their behavior. So you have to get them a little uncomfortable. You have to push them towards their limit a little bit. You have to make them move. And then once you start making a move, you can close the sale. But don't worry about losing the sale if you don't have it. Just do what you're supposed to do and get the customer, get the prospect, lead them down the path of agreement and get them to the end, to the sale. So I know marketing, and now I'm talking about sales. Well, I come from the sales end, so this is a little bit back to my roots, but maybe one day, we're getting a little long in the tooth now on this video, but maybe one day I'll give you the story about where I realized, the instant I realized that I was worrying about losing a sale I didn't have, instead of worrying about catching the sale, getting the sale that I was going after. Once I realized that, it made all the difference in the world in my sales career and later my marketing career. So again, your charge is to go Go get the sale. Stop worrying about losing the sale you don't have. Because if you're worrying about losing the sale you don't have, you're never going to catch the sale that you're going after. So worry about hunting the sale that you're looking for, not losing the sale that you don't have. All right, enough of that. You got the point, I hope. And now go make some money.